This is the Kodiak Chamber News and Views, where each week we sit down with representatives from local businesses and nonprofits to learn more about the services and resources available in our community. I'm your host, Jen Colton. Today I'm joined by Toby Sullivan with the Kodiak Maritime Museum. Toby, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For listeners who may not be familiar, can you give us a quick overview of the mission of the Kodiak Maritime Museum and why preserving maritime history is so important to our community?
Our museum is dedicated to preserving the history of Alaska, the maritime history of Alaska, and exhibiting it. So that's what we do. We've been doing it since 1992.
Can you talk about how the museum brings maritime history to life through exhibits, walking tours, and community events?
Well, we only recently acquired a building where we have our administrative offices. We do not yet have a building where we can have exhibits set up, but we do use the harbor as our exhibited space. So we have the Thelma Sea exhibit down on the Spit, right by Trident Seafoods there, and we have some interpretive panels across some sutlifts on the seawall, and we have a satellite exhibit out at Kodiak College, and then, of course, we do walking tours in the summer months usually, and we walk through the harbor and do a historical perspective of the Kodiak's harbor and the fishing fleet and some of the history involved with that.
And one of your signature events is the Harbor Lights Festival, which families look forward to every year. Can you tell us what's planned for this year's festival?
Well, this year it is Saturday, December 20th, which is coming right up. And the first part of it is the Kodiak Christmas Harbor Lights Boat Parade. That starts at 6 o'clock. The boats will rendezvous north of Shahafka Cove. That's a little bit, maybe a half a mile north of the boatyard, and then cruise single file through the channel under the bridge and disperse out by Pier 2. So the Harbor Parade usually starts around 6, runs for about an hour, and then afterwards we'll have hot drink at the Kodiak Canna Marketplace.
And it's been a pretty windy week. What is your backup plan?
We have a backup plan. We've actually done this a number of times before. When it's too windy to safely operate the parade, we ask the boats to remain in their stalls with their lights on, and then we have the community walk through the stalls and in the harbor floats and take a look at the boats from close up. We've done this a few other years where the weather was just terrible and you just couldn't have a boat out in the water. And it really went well because people were able to walk with their families and their dogs, and they walked through the harbor, and it was a very social event, looking out at all the boats.
Along with the decorated boat, there's also a reception happening during the event. Can you share where that will be held and what attendees can look forward to there?
Yeah, that'll be at the Canna Marketplace in the lobby downstairs, and it's from 5 to 9. Usually people don't show up until after the parade, but we'll be ready at 5. So we'll have cookies, hot chocolate, hot cider. It's free from Maritime Museum to the community. It's a good place to warm up after the parade or the harbor walkthrough, whichever way it turns out. It is a little windy. I've been watching the weather, and it's a little unclear if we're going to have enough low winds to do the parade, but we will see.
And the Harbor Lights Festival wouldn't be possible without volunteers and community support. If somebody would like to help out or learn more about the Kodiak Maritime Museum, what's the best way for them to get involved?
They can call the museum at 907-486-0384 or email us at info@KodiakMaritimeMuseum.org. And my board president, Marty Owen, is wrangling the cookies and hot chocolate, and I'll put you in touch with him.
Toby, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you to the Kodiak Maritime Museum for continuing to celebrate and preserve Kodiak's maritime heritage.
Thank you for having me. We'll see you on Saturday night.
We'll see you Saturday. You've been listening to Kodiak Chamber News and Views. Tune in on Thursdays and Saturdays to hear more about what's happening in our Kodiak business community.